My next guest says uncertainties about the Trump administration are keeping investors on the sidelines, despite some olive branches on both sides. KraneShares CIO Brendan Ahern is here. Brendan, welcome. I mean, how much is this about Trump and how much is this about a debt deflation spiral for the Chinese economy?
Yeah, it's certainly investor enthusiasm just based on the incredible outperformance of U.S. stocks over the last 15 years. You have a very, very significant underweight to non-U.S. equities in general, but then at the same time, particularly to China. And I think that really is due to the concern, the career risk that a professional investor would have buying Chinese stocks with the threat of Trump tariffs. At the same time, we don't really think that campaign rhetoric will become economic reality. We don't think replicating the tariffs that led to the Great Depression, the grapes of wrath, so to speak. We think this is the art of the deal, and we think the Trump administration will finalize a strong deal with China, who will go along with it.
I was reading through some of the measures that the Chinese are now trying to undertake to boost the economy. I don't understand the orthodox monetary policy one. Obviously, they've let the currency go a little bit today. They seem to be doing a lot of stimulus measures, even things like subsidizing iPhones, or I'm sorry, smartphones. Why? Maybe some of them are iPhones. Interesting.
Yeah, I think one of the things that happened overnight is we had the NDRC, one of the major government agencies in China, say that they would expand the consumption subsidies that we've seen toward home appliances and auto, including electric vehicles. See, they expanded to home electronics, including mobile phones. And we had a very strong rally overnight in Hong Kong from specific companies, really the Apple ecosystem, companies like AAC Optical, Sunny, as well as Xiaomi, a major player in mobile phones in China, competitor to the iPhone. But I'm really surprised that Apple's not rallying off of this news that you have the world's second largest economy is stimulating, and now you're seeing that geared to home electronics really should benefit not only Alibaba, but in particular JD.com. JD.com is really almost like the Best Buy of China online. So we think investors are just a little out of sight, out of mind for U.S. and global investors of some of the real positives happening in China literally today.
It's interesting you say that as well, because those are some of the individual names that David Tepper had doubled down on back when he was reducing his broad exposure to China a quarter or two ago, and kind of looking at maybe what he foresaw as some of the individual beneficiaries here. I also find it interesting. You've seen a few olive branches, you think. So while we were just talking to Eunice about some of these new kind of punitary measures, what do you see that gives you some optimism between the two sides here?
Well, a lot of the measures that you're seeing from the outgoing Biden administration has led Beijing to show that they have some levers they can pull. So you're seeing a little bit of this tit for tat going back and forth. To Eunice's point, this is all proposed, which means, again, this is a little bit of the door is still ajar. And at the same time, we see President Trump, he invited President Xi to the inauguration. We think that's unlikely that a big state visit takes months to plan. But I think it's a very strong signal if you see Vice Premier Li or Liu He, the trade envoy, attend. At a bare minimum, the ambassador, we believe, will go. You've also seen within the continuing resolution, this big bill that got passed at year end, from version 1 to version 2, when President Trump and Elon Musk opined on the first version, they pulled out the outbound China restrictions, which really not many people noticed. But again, another significant olive branch from the Trump administration to Beijing. And then, of course, you've seen some of the TikTok news from President Trump. I mean, that there's more to that than just China.
Of course.
Obviously, one of his major donors. But again, we just don't think investors are noticing some of these positives happening. It's been a little frustrating for us over here at KraneShares.